And that is number 17 on page 54 from the Rubank book for the 2020 CODA band, 8th grade Euphonium excerpt, 2 of 3. And this one, obviously, fairly straightforward, but in some ways it's also not, okay? Normally, we'd see a lot of dynamics, we'd see a lot of hairpin crescendos written in. So as of right now, there's literally nothing in there. So what dynamic do I play? There's no tempo marking. What tempo do I take? Do I push and pull in some spots? So the beauty as we start to get more and more familiar with music is you do have the ability to put your own little spin on things. Now, with respect to an audition, we don't want to go too bonkers. We want to stay within the realm of good taste, but really you can do just about anything. Now, I think there's a good way to look at this. Now, you'll notice the first 8 or so measures kind of sounded a little bit sad, a little bit somber. Then the next 8 measures got a little bit happier, a little bit more bright, upbeat, and then we kind of went back to that sad, somber sound, if you like alliteration, for the remainder of the 18. Now, use that as your guideline. I think with sad, somber, more melancholy music, I like that a little bit more on the softer side. I like that a little bit more on the weighted side. So the first 8 measures, you could conceivably think of this as longer articulation. Da da dee da dee da da dee da da dee. Nice and weighted, nice and heavy. And then when we get to the major section, bum 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 bum, bump the dynamic up a little bit, adjust the articulation to where it's a little bit lighter, a little bit more playful, because it's a major key, we want to be happy, ha 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 ha, or something like that. And then as we get back to the minor key, these last 2 lines go back to the boom 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 weighted heavy approach. You don't have to do that, but it's a great barometer for where you can start and then branch out from there. There's no reason you can't do crescendo, decrescendos in any of these spots. Within reason, if you want to maybe accelerate to the end of a phrase or pull back at the end of the phrase, no, I will always say be careful with that, because especially as people who judge these things, we want to make sure that it's, again, within good taste. If it just sounds like you're speeding up and slowing down ad nauseum, I can't tell if you're playing in time or being musical. I can't give you the credit for that. So if you do choose to push and pull in some spots with time, please make sure that it's obvious. And I would also say, please make sure it's within the realm of good taste. We can't go bum bum bida bida ba-dum ba-da dee da dee. We'll save those for the Bach cello suites when you get a little bit older. Now, beyond that, obviously, we need to make sure we have really, really consistent articulation, no matter what it is. So whether it's the weighted, more heavy articulation or the lighter, more lifted articulation, you need to make sure that every time that articulation happens, it stays consistent. Okay, we definitely want to start slow with this, with our metronome on that 8th note subdivision, so we really feel that subdivision on the inside as we play through. Okay, and as like we said in some of these other videos, as you get more and more comfortable, you can start to take that 8th note subdivision away and then see how well you're able to continue to line things up. And then, cannot stress this enough, take the metronome away once you feel like, okay, I've got this down. Record yourself, and then sit there with that metronome, tap along, see if you're staying consistent. If you're not staying consistent, see what your tendencies are. Do I typically rush? Do I typically slow down? If it's you're rushing, do you rush at the ends of phrases? Do you rush as you're trying to take a breath? Do you rush to, complete a crescendo? So be analytical with why these things are happening. Last thing I'll say, and I kind of sort of segued a little bit with some of those previous comments, is where do you breathe in all this? Okay, you'll see that are there rests? There's quarter note rests there. So literally throughout this entire thing, there's 2 quarter note rests. So unless you're able to circular breathe at this age, which if you can, can I take lessons with you? But if you can circular breathe, cool, good for you. But beyond doing that, we do need to pick some spots where we can take some breath. So obviously it does make sense to breathe after some of the long notes. We really just have eighth notes and half notes. We do have some dotted halves, but they are at the ends of phrases and the end of the etude. So what we'll need to do is work to try to take as many smaller breaths as possible and try to keep those as consistent as possible. I don't know how well it's going to come through with the recording. If you have headphones, you'll definitely be able to hear it. If it's just through a cell phone or a tablet speaker, maybe not. But I'm trying to take as many smaller breaths to refill and maintain my lung capacity as possible to get through this. Again, this is a straightforward etude, but it does present challenges in the sense that you have to really trust where to breathe. Many etudes, many pieces of music will tell you where to breathe. This you have to make that decision on your own. This does get up there, but it's not like page 38, 39 where you're kind of hanging above the staff the entire time. So we really want to focus on consistency. Consistency is going to be key with this. In your articulation, in your tempo, in where you breathe. I hope you found this video helpful. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know. And as always, happy practicing.